Hello!
Hi everybody, it's Roland and Leanne. We thought we'd bring you a quick update from our household during these rather unusual coronavirus times and self-isolating and social distancing and all that kind of stuff. In the TQ magazine that would have gone out a few weeks ago but hasn't because of all the different changes in circumstances, we would have had another advert for Infinite Affinity. So we wanted to bring you a quick update this evening of some of the stuff that we cover on the Infinite Affinity course, and actually what we're doing as a couple to change and adapt the way that we do things.
If you don't know, Infinite Affinity is the relationship course that we offer to the church and also the wider community. It's our heart. We are passionate about good relationships, be them between a man and woman, that kind of relationship, or even with families as well. We were also due to do a parenting course. We were due to start that in the summer term, which probably isn't going to happen now. So we wanted just to check in with you, remind you that we're here. We're still passionate about good relationships, even more so at the moment. And as Roland said, we just wanted to run through some of the tips that we've been using ourselves to stay the best possible way we can in our relationship while all of this very strange time is happening. So we cover 6 areas in the course that we run, and we're just going to give you kind of 1 or 2 tips for each of those areas.
So the general message really is that on all the topics that we cover, generally speaking, in Infinite Affinity, now those kind of 6 areas are much more kind of under the microscope. We're all staying at home. We can't get out and about very easily nowadays. So things have got to change. So these are the kinds of things that we're doing now to adapt in these uncertain and unusual times, and still stay sane and in love with each other.
Which we still are.
So
just to add as well that we always start our courses by saying we are not the perfect couple, far from it. I don't think there is such a thing as the perfect couple, but we are a couple who thoroughly believe in and invest in our marriage and believe that our marriage is worth it. We believe that our relationship requires time and love and commitment. So please don't sit there thinking that we're sitting here giving you all the answers and knowing everything. We're not. We are desperately working at all these things too, and like I said, we just wanted to share a few with you. So number 1.
So the first area that we've got is commitment. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Commitment is an act, not a word. So in your wedding ceremony, if you're married, or perhaps if you just thought about things, you say things like "for better or worse" and "in sickness and in health," and potentially, actually, at the moment in these times, that's probably more key and more important than it has been before. But the important thing is that as a couple, we still have a choice as to what we do and how that looks. So it's up to us to make a conscious decision to make the best of our relationship in these very strange circumstances. So that's commitment.
These postcards, by the way, are what we hand out in our marriage course, so you're getting a sneak peek, or relationship course rather, of the things that you collect. So the second one we talk about is communication. As passionate as I am about relationships, I am probably even more, if that's possible, passionate about communication and good communication. So we would just really encourage you at this time to be upfront and really honest with each other about how all this bizarreness is affecting you and might affect your relationship, and make a plan. When all this started happening a week or so ago, Roland and I sat down and talked about what this might do to our relationship and where it might impact us the most. And we did talk about how we were going to get through those things and what we could do to maybe avoid some of the things that could cause an issue. The other thing that we have really tried, particularly this week, we're currently, as you know, on full isolation. We are in full lockdown. Roland's working from home. I'm trying to work from home, and we've got the girls. If you don't know us, we have 5-year-old twins. That's a lot of fun at the moment, but it's presenting its own challenges when you're both trying to work. So the other thing we've tried to do this week is just to be super, super aware of each other's needs. So most days, especially with Roland working full time, I've started the day with what do you need to do today? And I think that just helps for me to be conscious of what he needs, and he's done the same with me. So I know he is aware of what I need, and we can make that happen for each other.
And that leads really nicely into the next topic that we cover in the Infinite Affinity course, which is all about life management. And for most people, things have changed drastically over the last few weeks. Your normal job will have changed. You might be working from home more, or actually if somebody in your household is a key worker, they're probably still going to work, maybe under difficult circumstances, and you're left at home, with children or maybe elderly parents that you're looking after perhaps. So things have really changed, and it's not very usual circumstances that we're living in. But one of the things that I've heard people suggest over the last couple of weeks is be sort of quite routine and quite structured in what you're doing, and keeping your Monday to Friday as a definite weekday, and keeping your weekends quite different. And that's fine for people who like structure and routine and those kinds of things, but not everybody does. I'm a creature of habit. I love a bit of routine, but Leanne, she's just demonstrating, really doesn't get on too well with that. So for me to impose, especially over the last 2 weeks while I've been working from home, for me to impose a sort of really rigid 9 to 5, Monday to Friday routine on Leanne, because that's what I need to do, just isn't going to work at all. So I think it's just about working out as a person kind of what you need to do, but then how that fits into you both as a couple, and what you need to do in terms of your life management as a couple and as a family to get through.
Although I have at least managed Joe Wick's PE sessions most days with the girls, so I'm doing well with the routine, I think. You were going to do 2 Become 1 next.
Although if you want to Leanne's got Discord. I've got 2 Become 1. Which would you like?
Let's do 2 Become 1. Okay,
so 2 Become 1. When you first started in your relationship, and perhaps when you got married, if you are married, there was a big emphasis about 2 people joined together to become one person, and all about discovering a new way of how you're going to join your lives and do things. That normality, for how long you've had that, for a number of months or years or even decades or more, that's all been put on hold now. I feel, anyway. So our normal life changed when we had the girls. Our pre-family married life changed when we had the girls. Things have changed again now with the current situation that we find ourselves in. So it's really about adapting to these new times, finding out what works for you. Being creative with date night, for example. We can't all go out to restaurants now, they're shut. You can't go to the pub and have a drink. So find out what works for you, and try and be a bit creative with it.
You can still get dressed up. Roland and I have got dressed up. Well, Roland did last week and I have tonight for date night. So there's little things you can do. Okay, slightly ironic, this was the one we almost had an argument over, but the 5th topic that we talk about in our course is discord. And actually, as the card said, it can be the absolute deal breaker. It can be the biggest issue. And really what we wanted to say during all of this is don't let the little niggles become bigger issues. I think when you are in each other's company 24/7, as we have been for the last 10 days, are we counting
11
days yet?
11.
Roland's counting.
It's very much 11 days.
It's the little things actually that can niggle away at you and that can become bigger things. So don't let that happen. Usually the niggles sometimes just get shifted when you go to work or whatever. That's not possible now. So I would say talk about those. We've done that this week. We've had moments where just ridiculously small things have wound us up and we've both just gone, need to talk to you about this quickly before it grows into anything big. So that would be my biggest encouragement around that. And also is to talk to the rest of the people that are in the house as well. We've sat down with the girls, albeit they're only 5, but we have explained to them that this is a really difficult time. This is a really unusual time, and that we all might get a bit tense sometimes. The girls have got a bit tense, we've got a bit tense this week, and how are we going to deal with that? So also make sure you're communicating with everyone else in your house as well. And that leads me very nicely on to family, which is the one we end on in the Infinite Affinity course. As Roland said earlier, you can't pick them. That's true.
Your family, that is.
So there's 2 issues here. One is the wider family that you're not seeing at the moment and how that impacts your relationship. For us, that has a much bigger impact on me and the girls than it does on Roland, because my family are more local. I see them more often. Roland's used to kind of dipping in and out and me keeping him up to date with what's going on. So in terms of that physical contact, that is much more an issue for me at the moment, and I think will only continue to be so in terms of missing them, and probably be an even bigger issue for the girls. So being mindful of that and being mindful of each other's preferences with that. And again, as I've already said, involve the whole family. We have sat down as a family and talked about the things we need to do over this time and as the days go on, and also the things that we would like to do and the things we want to do. All those hobbies that people are talking about on Facebook that they're starting, you know, everyone's got millions of time to do hobbies now. I haven't, not with 2 5-year-olds, but talking about all those things. So, and also, this is a really good opportunity to involve your children in your relationship and talk to them about relationships and model what that is to them. So tell your kids, Mummy and Daddy need a date night, Mummy and Daddy need time, you need to go and do something else now. There's no shame in that, and actually it's really important for them to understand that you need to put yourselves first and your oneness and your togetherness first as well. We thought this would be a quick 2-minute video. We're almost up to 11 minutes, but hopefully that is a valuable 11 minutes in your relationship at this time. Hopefully you think so too. And as I said in the email last week, if you do have any specific prayer requests about your relationship, please send them our way. We would really love to pray for you. And we're always happy. We're not counsellors. Most of what we talk about is pre-issues, isn't it? Really, is stopping the issues before you get to them. But we would love to pray, or, you know, we're always here to listen if needs be.
Yeah. So we really hope that you're firstly keeping safe. We hope you're keeping sane. And maybe this is a really great time to concentrate really consciously on your relationships and make those good relationships really great. So we hope you are keeping safe. Take care. And hopefully we'll see you very soon on an Infinite Affinity course when we've come out of this bizarre time.
Yeah, and we're off to have date night in the kitchen tonight, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. The choices are endless.
Bye, all.
Bye.
See you soon.